But here we're a group of working class people on the Near East Side that didn't really have a whole lot, but yet built a great community. And I think the thing about the East Side, it really reflects well the history of our city. You can go down 10th Street, for example. My group, the Near East Side History and Preservation Committee, put together a walking brochure of 10th Street, East 10th Street, from downtown about the interstate over to Emerson Avenue. And if you walk up and down the street, you really get a sense of how the city evolved. And as you're closer to downtown, you have great, beautiful Victorian neighborhoods like Woodruff Place. And as you walk farther out, you see how the city developed on the 19-teens. And then when you get out farther to Emerson Avenue, 1920s, how the architectural styles changed and the layout of the blocks and such. When you have many voices out there, sometimes it's always more powerful if they group together and shout louder. And I think NESCO has allowed the residents of the Near East Side to do that more. It certainly has done a lot with zoning issues, housing issues, community policing. NESCO served as a good celebration for the East Side in the sense that they brought people together to have fun, and that could be many things like the bike rodeos that they put on where they give bike helmets out to kids, Halloween celebrations each year. We've just renewed, I think it's about 5 or 6 years ago, a new festival called Feast of Lanterns. So we also help celebrate living on the East Side as well, and I think you can get wrapped up in sort of the problems and always focusing on the negative and how we need to fix things and kind of lose sight of what's great about living on the East Side. So I'm glad that NESCO plays an important role of also celebrating as well. Well, I've always believed in community, and I don't know why I've always felt that it's important to get involved. I don't know if it's something that just my parents raised me to believe in or what, but I've always felt that you should participate in the place that you live. Place has always been very important to me. I bought a home in NESCO area 6 years ago, and when I first bought there, I was a little worried. It was a new home. I wasn't sure what the neighborhoods were like. I wasn't sure what the neighbors were like, and I wanted to be able to have some influence over what happened and what sort of neighborhood I lived in. I had been familiar with NESCO before. I had visited places like the Woodruff Place Flea Market and seen booths and read some brochures, so I was somewhat familiar with it. It first started that I got involved with our neighborhood organization. I live in the neighborhood of Emerson Heights, and they have an active community group there. So I first got involved that way, and then I became more familiar with NESCO and saw all the good things that it does, and so I somehow got involved. And I can't honestly remember the first way I got involved, but apparently somehow became familiar with it and started volunteering. And then each of the neighborhoods has a representative. So my neighborhood nominated me to be the representative on the NESCO board, and then I became more involved at that point. We're at the point now that we're on an upswing again after some harder years. So we're very hopeful. It continues to serve the community well, and it's a way for people to get involved and work together to solve some of the issues that the Near East Side's facing.